हतां स्त्वं जायमा व्यतिस्था युध्यस्वते जेतसि रणे सपत्नान्. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. The Blessed Lord said, all the great warriors Drona, Bhishma, Jayadratha, Karna are already destroyed. Simply fight and you will vanquish your enemies. So in this verse, Krishna is saying, Dronam cha Bhishmam cha Jayadratham cha. So all these great warriors, Drona, Bhishma, Jayadratha, Karanam Dadhanyan, Karna also, and Anyan, and so many other great warriors, those who are considered as Yodhan Viran, Yodha Viran, Veer Yodha, great warriors they are. But then, Maya Hatams Tuam, Maya by me, Hatams, they're already finished, they're already destroyed. Yudhyasva Jetasi Rane Sapatnan, you have to just do your duty, just do the Yudh. You will come out victorious because I already killed them, meaning Krishna already planned. So, very important words, and Prabhupada brings a very nice point here. Every plan is made by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. See, it's already Krishna's plan that all these great warriors on the side of Kauravas will be killed. That's the plan of Krishna. But still, he is asking Arjuna to go and fight, and you will come out victorious. So, very important point here that we have to just do our duty. And whatever outcome comes, we should know that that is Krishna's plan. Krishna already sanctioned something that will happen, nobody can stop. And if Krishna doesn't grant anything or something, then no matter what we do, we'll not get. So one should have that faith and that confidence. Okay, let me try my best, let me do my duty as per the scriptures under the guidance of a bona fide guru. And when I do my duties, whatever outcome comes, I should take that as Krishna's plan, as Krishna's sanction. So it's a very, very important principle that gives us the confidence. We'll never be disappointed. If it is a failure, the so-called failure, we understand this so-called failure is also Krishna's plan because every plan is made by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is this personality in Mahabharata called Barbaric, very interesting personality, a very, very powerful warrior. He got some boon from Lord Shiva and he became extremely powerful. And also a very special benediction this Barbaric got was whenever he fight and from whose side he will fight, that side will come out victorious. But also his condition was he will only fight on the side of those who are weak. It's a very interesting combination. He is very powerful. He fights on anybody's side, they'll come out victorious. They'll become very powerful that side. But his condition is he will always fight on the side of the weak. So basically, so he was also supposed to take part in the battlefield. But if he would have taken the part in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, then it will never come to any conclusion because anytime other side is weak, he will go and join their party. And as soon as he joins their party, that side will become very powerful, other side will become weak, and then he has to go to that side. Right? So very interesting, condition here. So Krishna, knowing that if he participates, then this battle will not come to an end. The flow will be disrupted of the war. So then Krishna stopped him to fight by asking him his head. And he was such a great devotee that Krishna asked that you give me your head. He just cut his head and offer it to Krishna with the condition that I want to, uh, witness this battle. I don't want to miss this. So then Krishna gave him the benediction that yes, though you cut your head, but still you will be able to witness, you will be able to see the entire battlefield. So his cut head was placed on the top of the mountain. So he could see the entire battlefield and the entire war. So at the end of the battle, there is a lot of conversation that what made the Pandavas victorious, what was their strategy, what's going on, who fought, expertly, and all of those kind of questions and discussions. Then somebody suggested that why don't we go and ask this barbaric, because he was the one who was watching, witnessing everything from a neutral, space. So when he was asked that, can you tell us that who made this war win? And this barbaric, interestingly, he said, when I was seeing, I could see only just one thing, and that was Krishna and Krishna Sudarshan Chakra. There was nothing else on the battlefield. Only Krishna Sudarshan Chakra was there, and that was only killing and doing everything. Right. So this confirms that it was Krishna's plan. Every plan is made by Krishna. So Krishna's plan, and Krishna is only executing that plan. Externally speaking, oh no, Arjuna is fighting, Bhima is fighting, and all the Bhishma, Drona, everybody is fighting. But in reality, it was Krishna alone who was doing everything. So this is a very, very important point here. Prabhupada also says that uh, Krishna, though he made all the plans, but he is so kind and merciful to his devotees that he wants to give the credit to his devotees who carry out his plan according to his desire. So this is nature of Krishna, that he always wants to give credit to his devotees. Though everything is planned by him, and all the plans are executed by him in reality, but he wants to give credit. So Barbaric said that I could see only Sudarshan, but still Krishna wanted to give that credit to his great devotee Arjun. Why? Because he was acting as per his plan. Because Arjuna's plan was not to fight. He says, I'll go to the forest. I don't want to fight. But then Krishna said, no, you should fight, you should kill. So Arjuna kept his personal plans aside to execute Krishna's plan. So when a devotee completely surrenders to Krishna and want to just lead his life as per the plan of Krishna, to that devotee, Krishna wants to glorify. There is a reason that why Krishna wants to glorify. Reason is it comes in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, in conversation with gopis. So Krishna there, he expresses, he says, Napare ham nirvadya samyujam sasadhu grityam vibudayusa piva yama bhajan durjanage shankala sambrachya tadva bratiyadu sadhuna. So Krishna expresses that Napare ham, that I am unable to repay the debt for your spotless, your selfless service. Krishna is saying to the gopis, I am unable to repay the debt even in a lifetime of Brahma because your connection, your sacrifice for me, you just cutting off all the domestic ties you left or your family and all other social obligations, and you just came running to me and fully surrender. I cannot repay back. Krishna feel himself indebted to his devotees because the devotees just sacrifice everything for Krishna's sake. So then what Krishna can give them? So Krishna thinks that I cannot give them anything. So Krishna wants to glorify. Krishna try to glorify his devotees always. That is what is Krishna's nature. We see in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in this episode of Samudra Manthan, there when all this churning was going on in the ocean, there's a lot of wonderful things were emerging out from the ocean. Some gems and jewels and the horses and so many wonderful things. So all the great things were offered to the Supreme Lord. But in the beginning came was poison, and that poison was taken by Lord Shiva. another great Vaishnava, another great devotee of the Lord. So sometimes people may ask the question, what is this? The poison came, he is giving to Shiva. And when all the good things are coming, Lord is taking himself. This seems like, externally speaking, like an injustice. All the good things you are keeping and something poisonous you are giving to, or you take. What is this? He should give all the good things to them. But we need to understand the deeper import of all those pastimes is that yes, Krishna don't want anything good or bad. He could have easily given even all the good things to his devotees, but Krishna wants to glorify Lord Shiva. He wanted to offer him an undying fame that look at my devotee. For the sake of the humanity, he is ready to go to any extent, to the extent of drinking the poison halahal. So Lord Shiva took that poison and then he held it in his neck, and that is how he became Nilkant. His neck became blue because of that poison. So Krishna wanted to teach, look at the power of my devotee, look at the compassion of my devotee. And by doing that, he wanted to glorify Lord Shiva. He became famous forever, eternally became famous as Nilkant Mahadev. Right. So this is how Krishna wants to give uh, the fame, the credit to his devotees. Because the devotees, they carry out their life, they lead their life as per the plan according to the Lord. We, we see that Srila Prabhupada, when he met his spiritual master in 1922, his spiritual master gave him the instruction that you should go to the West and then share this message of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam to the whole world. Prabhupada took that instruction as his life and soul. He took the instruction of his Guru as his life and soul to serve the Supreme Lord, to serve his own spiritual master. So Prabhupada was working hard, trying in so many ways. And in 1953, Prabhupada established the League of Devotees in Jhansi in India. But a lot of politics happened, it was a failure. And after that, Prabhupada attempted in so many different ways to establish, to start a movement, start an organization to share this wisdom of Bhagavad Gita. Despite all his multiple attempts, multiple failures that Prabhupada experienced. Right now, question can be raised. What is this? Here is a devotee, Srila Prabhupada, a pure devotee, great Mahabhagavat. His life mission is just to serve Krishna. And still Krishna is not supporting him. So many failures. What is this? Where is Krishna? It might feel like that if we don't understand this, the inner meaning and the deeper imports of the scriptures. But we understand, now we can understand at least, that when Prabhupada was going through all these multiple failures, of course, with Krishna's sanction only, Krishna was preparing Prabhupada for a fame which is unparalleled in the history of the humanity. He didn't want to give him a fame of, uh, the Acharya of some small organization, some local organization doing something, but he wanted to give him the fame as the Vishwa Guru, the Acharya of the entire universe. So that is the kind of fame that Krishna wanted to give Jagat Guru, the spiritual master of the whole world, Vishwa Guru, the spiritual master of the entire universe. What Prabhupada could achieve, of course, by the grace of Krishna, has been unprecedented in the history of humanity. Nobody have ever done that. In a short span of just 10 years, Prabhupada single-handedly, an old man, 70-year-old, could start a movement which is a worldwide movement and expand that movement around the globe and making, the Westerners who have no background of Krishna and Krishna consciousness, making them into a full-time, dedicated devotees. Their life is dedicated for serving Krishna. Nobody have ever done that. So that is the kind of fame that Krishna was preparing Prabhupada for. Right? So what seems like a failure is not a failure. We need to understand very carefully. If a devotee who has dedicated his life in the service of Krishna, a devotee whose life's mission is to serve Krishna or make the mission of Krishna, the plan of Krishna, as his own plan, to that devotee there is no failure. The so called failure is preparing for something which will unfold in the due course, something which is unparalleled in the history. So, devotee is always very, very confident. He never get disappointed by this so called failures because they understand that that so called failure is also Krishna's plan. Nothing moves without Krishna's sanction, not even a blade of grass. So this is the confidence, this is the understanding of a devotee. So devotees, they just go on, they goes on, right, despite multiple failures. We see the example of Pandavas, right? Their life is filled with all the difficulties, but they are confident that Krishna is there on the side. So externally speaking, it might look like if Krishna is also there on their side, still they're going through so much difficulties. In fact, at the end of the battlefield, when all these Pandavas, Krishna arranged that when Yudhishthira Maharaj became the king after the battlefield, and he was feeling so despondent, Yudhishthira Maharaj was lamenting. He was thinking that the cause of all this massacre, like millions of people had died, just because I had to become the king here, sit on this throne. He went into that guilt. And then everybody's trying to pacify him that, oh, no, no, it is not your personal aggrandizement. It was the battle for the dharma. But somehow he was not pacified. Even Krishna tried to counsel him. Krishna couldn't pacify. Now, does it mean that Krishna is also, not capable enough to pacify his devotee like that? No, that is not the understanding. Understanding is that again Krishna wanted to give the credit to one of his another devotee. So it seems like even Krishna could not pacify the Yudhishthira Maharaj. Then he says, okay, let's go to Bhishma. And the Bhishma, who was on his deathbed, on the bed of arrows, and then all these Pandavas, they dress themselves royally like the kings, and they goes to meet Bhishma Dev. And when the meeting, even the Bhishma Dev was lamenting. Bhishma Dev was saying, Yatra dharma sudho raja gada panir vakhodara Krishnostrigandivam chapam Suvart Krishnastado vipat. So Bhishma is saying, Yatra Dharma Suto Raja, that there is a Dharma personified is there, this King Yudhishthir. Gadapani, Gadapani is the power personified, strength personified. This Bhima is there. And Vrkodaraha, he is Vrkodar. He is famous for performing Herculean task. And then Krishna's Trigandivam, Arjuna, the skill personified. All these Dharma personified, strength personified, skill personified, and on top of that, Krishna, the supreme personality of Godhead is in their side, but still they goes through all this vipat, all these dangers, all these vipattis, difficulties, tribulations. Aho kastam aho anyayam yad yuyam dharmanandanaha. That, oh my God, the Bhishma is lamenting, is thinking like, oh, this innocent and then all this pious, virtuous Pandavas, aho kastam, aho anyayam, so much kast, so much difficulties, so much of injustice they have gone through. They should not have been survived in those kind of things. Right? So like that he was lamenting. And when Krishna brought them there, and then Bhishma started to pacify Yudhishthir Maharaj. And then Yudhishthir Maharaj got pacified. So here we see that Krishna wanted this fame to Bhishma, that by his teachings, the teachings of Bhishma Stuti later, so this Yudhishthir Maharaj got pacified. So even the Bhishma was lamenting there. It seems like they have gone through so much of difficulties, But amidst of all those difficulties, all these Pandavas, they could just continue. Why? Their understanding is the so-called failures, so-called difficulties, so-called vipattis are also Krishna's plan. So this is what is the understanding of the devotees. Now, how to understand Krishna's plan? Yes, we understand, okay, Krishna's plan is going on, or also we also want to become the plan of Krishna instead of making an independent plan. We also want to become the part of Krishna's plan. But how do we know what is Krishna's plan? So Prabhupada answers here in the purport. He says, the plans of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are understood by his devotees. The bona fide spiritual master, when we go and take the shelter, he will reveal what is Krishna's plan, what is Krishna's mission in this world. So when we become the part of our Guru's mission, who is a Mahabhagavata, who is a pure devotee, then we should understand that we have already become the part of Krishna's plan. So this is how we understand Krishna's plan by understanding the plan of the Guru or becoming the part of. Sometimes we don't understand also the plan of the Guru also, just becoming the part of the Guru's mission and just very sincerely following the instruction of the spiritual master, we are immediately become the part of Krishna's plan. So it is very, very important and it is very, very rare, extremely rare. Brahmand Brahmide Khan Bhagyavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasade Bhai Bhakti Lata Beach. It's an extremely rare opportunity that we, by the grace of Krishna, by the grace of the spiritual master, we are picked and we have been offered to be the part of the mission of such a Mahabhagavata, a great devotee like Srila Prabhupada. So when we become the part of his mission and we start playing our part, we start doing what we can do, then Krishna will do what we can't do. This is the secret. So, like a small squirrel, we can just throw some stones, you know, in the mission of the Lord, in the mission of the Guru. And then, so we should do what we can, and then Krishna will do what we can't. And there is this interesting story that how Krishna protects his devotees. Sometimes, some difficulties, some situations which seems like invincible, unconquerable, but Krishna intervenes. So there was this battlefield for 18 days on the day of 13th day when Abhimanyu was killed. So Arjuna was furious and he took the vow that tomorrow I'll kill the killer of my son Abhimanyu. Because Abhimanyu was killed, uh, you know, not as per the code of the battle. He was tricked, he was cheated. So that made Arjuna furious even more. So he says, tomorrow I'll just kill this Jayadratha, who was the prime conspirator to kill the Abhimanyu. And then Arjuna, in that fury, he took the vow that if tomorrow by evening, by sunset, I'm not able to kill this Jayadratha, I'll just jump into the fire and end myself. And immediately this news spread, and all these Kauravas, they started celebrating and started planning and strategizing that tomorrow we somehow or other we had to just protect this Jayadratha. He should remain beyond the reach of Arjuna. Just one day we can hold somehow this Arjuna to reach Jayadratha. And tomorrow this Arjuna will jump into the fire, and when as soon as it's finished, battle is finished. That was their plan. So they made the strategy, and everybody, all these great warriors, they just gave the cover to Jayadratha. He was beyond the reach of Arjuna. All these great warriors, especially the six of them, they came and they very fiercely started fighting with Arjuna. Six of them fighting alone, with Arjuna. And somehow or other, their only mission was that just hold on, Arjuna, just keep him occupied like that, so you can reach Jayadratha. And they were actually speaking, they were successful, you know. And by the time it was sunset almost, and Arjuna was still very far from the reach. Where is Jayadratha? No clue. And then everybody started lamenting, oh my God, it is almost sunset now. And then Krishna saw that my devotee is in danger. If he couldn't kill the Jayadratha by sunset, Arjuna has to kill himself. So immediately Krishna intervened. What he did, they were about to just, sunset, but Krishna released his Sudarshan and he covered the sun, and it looked like sun already set. And as soon as everybody saw that there's no sun in the sky, which was covered by the Sudarshan, by the way, and everybody started celebrating. And they say, okay, now this Arjuna will jump into the fire. So on the side of Kaurava, they're celebrating. On the side of the Pandavas, they're lamenting. This fire was set up, and everybody were just cheering and celebrating all these Kauravas and party. And in that, amidst of all that celebration, the Jayadratha came running, jumping, frolicking, celebrating, cheering up. And he came right in front where Arjuna was standing to jump into the fire. And he was just laughing loud. And that is when Krishna removed his Sudarshan and the sun was still there in the sky. It was not yet sunset. And then Krishna indicated Arjuna that Arjun, lift your Gandiva and shoot this Jayadratha. And immediately Arjuna shot and killed the Jayadratha. So see how Krishna intervenes and protect his devotees, provided we do what we can do, and then Krishna will do what we can do. So we had to do our part, we had to do our duty, and then rest we should be dependent on Krishna. And Krishna assures that Name Bhaktya Pranashyati, my devotee never perishes, I'll protect. So one should have that confidence, that Nishchaya, that Krishna will protect me. So this is the understanding here. So Krishna is saying that Arjun, you just do your duty, you just fight, and as per my plan, they're already killed. So don't worry, you just do your part, and then you will come out victorious. So in the same way, we should also just try to surrender ourselves, we should try to become the fully dependent on Krishna, and with that dependence, with that surrender attitude, with that confidence, we should do our duty with best of our ability, and then Krishna will do what is beyond our ability. So this is the secret of success. Okay, so these are some thoughts on this verse. I'll stop here. Anybody has any question, you can ask and mute yourself and ask the question. There's no question, then we'll stop here. Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nidai Gaur Premanande.